There's something different about a compliment from a woman who has lived, loved, lost, and learned. It doesn't feel casual. It doesn't feel automatic. It feels earned. You see, when an older woman compliments you, she isn't reacting. She's evaluating. She has seen enough men to know what strength looks like, what confidence sounds like, and what real character feels like. So when her words land, they land with weight. The first compliment that hits different is, "You're consistent." Because consistency isn't flashy, it's rare. And when someone experienced notices it, that's powerful. Second, "I feel safe with you." That's not about protection alone. It's emotional steadiness, leadership, presence. Third, "You listen." In a world full of noise, being heard is magnetic. Fourth, "You're not like most men." That's discernment speaking. Fifth, "You handle pressure well." That's respect. Sixth, "You know who you are." Identity is attractive. Seventh, "You make people feel valued." That's influence. And eighth, "I admire you." Not just desire, admiration. Because when admiration comes from someone who has options, wisdom, and standards, it doesn't just boost your ego, it builds your belief in yourself. And that changes everything. There's a profound difference between a compliment from someone young and a compliment from an older woman who has lived and experienced life. When an older woman gives praise, it carries a depth that goes far beyond surface level flattery. It isn't automatic or impulsive. It comes from observation, experience, and a clear understanding of value. Life teaches people lessons, and older women have seen patterns, repeated behaviors, and the ways people present themselves versus who they really are. So when she recognizes something in you, it's not just a passing comment, it's a meaningful acknowledgement that you've done something noteworthy. The emotional weight of experience means that she can see subtleties that others miss. She notices consistency, maturity, and integrity because she knows what these traits look like over time. She's not impressed by grand gestures or superficial charm alone. She's attuned to the quiet confidence that comes from someone who has cultivated themselves, who understands their worth and doesn't feel the need to prove it to everyone. A compliment from her signals that you've stood out not by trying to impress, but simply by being authentic. It's rare because she has seen a wide spectrum of behaviors, and she doesn't give praise lightly. Her life experience allows her to understand the nuances of human behavior, which makes her feedback particularly impactful. When she says something like, "You're steady under pressure," it carries a resonance that younger people's words can't match, because she knows the challenges behind that steadiness. She's observed situations where composure matters, where reactions define outcomes, and when she sees that quality in you, it validates more than just your action, it validates your character. This type of compliment connects directly to your sense of self, affirming that the person you are aligns with values that truly matter. Her words also carry a kind of implicit wisdom. Because she has lived through mistakes, heartbreak, and triumph, she recognizes the significance of traits that others might take for granted. Compliments from her are layered, they acknowledge effort, consistency, and authenticity, and they often hint at something larger than the immediate moment. It's as if she's saying, "I see the real you, the parts that endure, the parts that are rare." That acknowledgement is powerful because it validates your presence in a way that goes deeper than temporary praise. This emotional weight doesn't just make the compliment feel different, it shapes how you perceive yourself. When someone with experience, perspective, and discernment notices something remarkable about you, it encourages reflection and self-recognition. It's no longer about seeking approval, it's about understanding your own value through the lens of someone who truly sees. That's why compliments from older women resonate so strongly. They are measured, intentional, and infused with insight that transforms simple words into a profound affirmation of who you are and who you're becoming. This is why the first keynote, the emotional weight of experience, is so crucial. It's not merely about hearing something nice, it's about receiving recognition from someone whose opinion is grounded in understanding life's complexities. Her words are a mirror of experience, reflecting back qualities in you that are both rare and enduring, making their impact unforgettable. Compliments from older women often go far beyond surface-level praise because they are rooted in observation, understanding, and genuine appreciation for who a person truly is. While younger individuals might comment on appearance, charm, or fleeting achievements, older women recognize qualities that endure, the character traits, emotional intelligence, and integrity that define a person over time. When she says something affirming, it carries a weight and authenticity that is immediately felt because it isn't given casually or indiscriminately. These compliments validate more than how you look, they validate who you are. Validation beyond appearance is crucial because society often emphasizes external beauty or charm as the measure of worth. Compliments focused solely on looks can feel hollow or fleeting, easily dismissed as politeness rather than genuine recognition. But when a mature woman compliments your mind, your values, or your approach to life, it signals that she sees substance and meaning in the way you live and think. For example, saying, "You handle challenges with grace," or "I admire how you care for those around you," highlights traits that are rare and enduring. These are the qualities that truly define someone and are far more impactful than mere attractiveness. Her validation is also educational in nature. By acknowledging these deeper qualities, she subtly teaches what behaviors and attitudes are genuinely respected and valued. It's a form of guidance wrapped in affirmation that can shape how you see yourself and how you continue to grow. When she points out traits like patience, thoughtfulness, or integrity, it becomes clear that these are the things that create lasting impression, influence, and connection. This kind of recognition encourages you to lean into your best self, rather than just relying on superficial traits to be noticed or appreciated. Another reason these compliments feel different is because of intention. Older women are typically selective with their praise. They have lived long enough to understand that words have power, and they don't give them lightly. A compliment from her carries credibility because it has been thoughtfully considered. You sense that it reflects genuine admiration rather than obligation or social convention. When she acknowledges something meaningful about you, it resonates, and you are likely to remember it long after it is spoken. Validation beyond appearance fosters a sense of self-worth that is grounded in authenticity. It reminds you that who you are, your choices, your character, your ability to navigate life thoughtfully matters more than superficial measures. Compliments from older women have the unique ability to reinforce confidence, encourage growth, and affirm identity in ways that simple flattery never can. Their words resonate because they reflect discernment, experience, and a recognition of the deeper qualities that truly define someone. In this way, the praise you receive is not just felt, it is internalized, shaping both how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. This is why the second keynote, validation beyond appearance, is so important. It emphasizes that true recognition is rooted in substance, creating a meaningful impact that goes far beyond momentary admiration. Certain compliments have a unique effect because they reinforce a man's sense of identity and purpose, tapping into his deeper sense of competence and capability. When an older woman recognizes a strength in you, it doesn't just make you feel good in the moment, it reminds you of your potential, your achievements, and the qualities that define you. Masculine identity is often tied to feelings of accomplishment, reliability, and the ability to lead or protect. Not in a controlling sense, but in the sense of being someone who can handle life's challenges with poise. A compliment that highlights these qualities resonates deeply because it aligns with an internal narrative that is often underappreciated or unnoticed in day-to-day interactions. When she says, "You handle things really well," or "I admire how decisive you are," it signals that she recognizes your ability to manage responsibility and navigate challenges effectively. These words acknowledge not just the action itself, but the mindset behind it, the discipline, clarity, and resilience that allowed you to get there. Unlike compliments that focus on charm or appearance, these affirm your capability as a person, reinforcing a sense of self that is both empowering and motivating. They validate the aspects of masculinity that are meaningful and substantive rather than performative. Masculine identity reinforcement also works because it appeals to the desire for significance. Every person wants to feel that their actions matter, that their skills and decisions have an impact. When an older woman compliments your ability, insight, or leadership, it confirms that your contributions are seen and valued. This is especially powerful because it comes from someone with experience, someone who understands the complexity of life and doesn't hand out praise lightly. Her acknowledgement validates your choices and reinforces confidence in your own judgment, which can inspire further growth and self-assurance. These types of compliments create a sense of alignment between external recognition and internal identity. Many men struggle with feeling fully seen for their capabilities or understanding the value they bring to relationships, work, or life in general. When an experienced woman expresses admiration for these deeper qualities, it bridges that gap, providing clarity and affirmation. It isn't just about feeling appreciated, it's about understanding that your sense of purpose and the way you show up as a man has impact and resonance. This reinforcement goes beyond ego boosting. It encourages authenticity. It allows you to lean into your strengths without feeling the need to exaggerate or perform. Knowing that someone discerning has noticed your competence and presence fosters a quiet confidence that radiates naturally. It strengthens emotional security, allowing you to act from a place of grounded identity rather than seeking constant validation. Masculine identity reinforcement through compliments highlights and honors the qualities that define strength, reliability, and purpose. It connects recognition with meaning, turning simple praise into a powerful affirmation of self-worth. When these words come from someone experienced, they carry even more weight, validating not only your actions, but the essence of who you are and the role you occupy in the world. This is why the third keynote, the reinforcement of masculine identity, is so impactful. It transforms recognition into something that inspires confidence, pride, and a deeper understanding of your own capabilities. The way older women compliment is often intentional and selective, and this selectivity gives their words a unique power. Unlike casual praise, which can be frequent and indiscriminate, compliments from experienced women are measured, thoughtful, and meaningful. They notice subtle qualities and behaviors that others might overlook, and they choose to acknowledge only those that genuinely stand out. This selective appreciation makes their words rare and valuable, which is why they resonate so strongly. When someone doesn't hand out compliments lightly, receiving one feels like being seen, truly seen, for the first time in a long time. It carries the weight of discernment, signaling that you possess something exceptional. This intentionality creates a psychological effect that goes beyond simple flattery. Humans naturally respond to rarity and exclusivity, and praise that is earned rather than freely given immediately captures attention and leaves a lasting impression. When an older woman compliments your thoughtfulness, competence, or emotional intelligence, it signals that these traits are not only recognized, but also respected. This acknowledgement validates your effort, your character, and your choices, reinforcing the idea that the qualities you cultivate matter deeply to the right people. Selective appreciation encourages self-reflection and growth. When praise is intentional, it highlights specific behaviors or characteristics that are genuinely valued. For instance, if she remarks, "I admire how you handle challenges calmly," it draws your attention to an aspect of yourself that you may have taken for granted or not fully appreciated. By noticing and affirming these traits, she subtly teaches which qualities are meaningful in life and in relationships. It's not just a compliment, it's a guidepost, a reflection of the standards that create respect and admiration. The impact of selective appreciation also comes from the credibility it carries. Older women have experienced enough of life and relationships to understand patterns, discern character, and recognize genuine behavior. They've seen people try to impress, manipulate, or perform to gain approval, so their praise is rarely based on superficial impressions. When they do acknowledge something about you, it feels authentic because it comes from a place of understanding, experience, and careful observation. This authenticity amplifies the power of the compliment and makes it memorable. Selective appreciation fosters a sense of value that is both rare and reinforcing. It's not about seeking constant validation, but about recognizing that meaningful recognition comes from discernment and experience. When someone who has the wisdom and perspective to know better chooses to acknowledge you, it communicates that you possess qualities worth noticing. It creates a connection that is deeper than casual admiration. It affirms that you are remarkable in ways that matter. This is why the fourth keynote, selective appreciation, is so impactful. It emphasizes that compliments carry weight when they are intentional and rare, transforming simple words into a profound acknowledgement of value, character, and presence. It teaches that being noticed by someone discerning is not just flattering, it is validating, inspiring, and deeply memorable. When a compliment comes from someone with experience, it carries more than just warmth, it carries authority, insight, and emotional resonance. Older women have lived through complex situations, observed human behavior in depth, and learnt to distinguish between superficial charm and genuine substance. This life experience gives their words a unique psychological impact, creating a sense of respect and admiration that younger or less experienced individuals rarely elicit. The psychological impact of respect is profound because it speaks directly to a man's desire to be seen, understood, and valued for qualities that truly matter, rather than for surface-level attributes. Respect, in this context, is not about hierarchy or deference. It is about recognition of character, ability, and integrity. When an older woman says, "I trust you," or "I admire the way you handle challenges," it communicates that she sees your value in a way that is deliberate and informed. These words validate not only your actions, but the mindset behind them, the thoughtfulness, resilience, and judgment that define your approach to life. Because she has lived enough to recognize effort, consistency, and authenticity, her acknowledgement carries an implicit message. The traits you exhibit are rare, significant, and worthy of attention. The psychological impact is further amplified because humans are naturally drawn to validation that comes from discernment. When praise is selective, intentional, and grounded in experience, doesn't just boost confidence temporarily, it reshapes perception. A man receiving such acknowledgement begins to internalize the recognition, reinforcing his sense of self-worth, competence, and emotional security. It creates a feedback loop. The compliment validates your positive traits, which encourages you to lean into them even more, which then strengthens your identity and presence. This kind of recognition also taps into deeper emotional needs. Many men desire to be understood on a level that goes beyond appearance, social status, or performative charm. A compliment from an older, experienced woman meets this need by acknowledging substance over style. It says, "I see who you truly are, not just the surface you present," which fosters trust, emotional connection, and even subtle admiration. The psychological resonance is heightened because it combines recognition with wisdom, demonstrating that someone discerning has evaluated you and found real value. The impact of respect is transformative because it encourages authentic behavior. Unlike superficial praise, which can motivate performance for approval, acknowledgement grounded in respect inspires confidence without forcing action. It validates identity, reinforces character, and fosters a sense of pride in the qualities that define you. The words become more than a fleeting compliment. They become a mirror reflecting your best self, as seen by someone who understands and values it deeply. This is why the fifth keynote, the psychological impact of respect, is so crucial. Compliments from experienced women carry authority, insight, and discernment, creating a lasting effect that goes beyond ego boosting. They validate character, reinforce self-worth, and inspire authentic growth, making the recognition both meaningful and unforgettable. The power of a compliment from an older, experienced woman lies not in the words themselves, but in the depth, intention, and insight behind them. Each acknowledgement, whether of your consistency, emotional intelligence, competence, or character, carries weight because it comes from someone who has lived, observed, and learned what truly matters in people. These words don't just make you feel good in the moment. They validate your identity, reinforce your strengths, and inspire confidence in the person you are becoming. When someone discerning sees your value, it reminds you that substance, authenticity, and integrity are noticed and appreciated. The rarity and thoughtfulness of these compliments make them resonate on a deeper level, creating lasting impact. They are more than flattery. They are recognition, respect, and affirmation that encourages you to lean fully into your best self. In the end, these 8 compliments are transformative. because they don't just touch your ego, they touch your identity, your purpose, and the qualities that define who you are. They leave an impression that lingers long after the words are spoken.